Welcome to the Budget Finance Economic Development Committee. Boy, it's been quite a week, so I appreciate all of your hard work. It is now 10:05 a.m., and we are beginning our fourth day of deliberations. At this time, we have, I just want to announce that this meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Sunshine Law. And if you're not in the chambers, please recognize who is with you.
Look how cool. I have one unnamed minor with me today. Unnamed minor with me today.
In the chambers, getting a massage by Chair Lee. Next, we have Member Johnson. You're online.
Yes, good morning, Chair, Council members, community members, privy to everyone. I'm alone in my workspace and there's no testifiers at the Lanai District Office. Mahalo.
Privy to you. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha kakahiaka. There are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office, and Privit and Koa's gonna be so jealous, Charlie. Mahalo to Hana last night for hosting us. It was a fabulous spread, and always wonderful people who come on and testify. Mahalo to her.
Agree, so agree. Member Cook.
Aloha, good morning. There's no testifiers in the Kihei District Office, but Bill's on standby, and I'm looking forward to the meeting. Thank you.
Privy to you, Member Cook. Member Uhajans is going to be a little bit late, but she'll be joining us. Member Senensi, thank you very much last night.
Yeah, aloha kakayaka, Chair, and repeat everyone. And glad to hear that everyone got home safely here at the Hana District Office with District Staff Don Lono.
Good job last night at the residency area meeting. And before we move on, I'm going to ask you to do some opening comments about that after I do all my introductions. But I want you to talk about your gift that you gave to Chair Lee in your comments. That was so sweet. From the Office of the Mayor, we have Leslie Milner, Budget Director, Department of Parks and Recreation, Director McCall, Patrick McCall, Shane Dudawa. I didn't see Shane here. Is he here? Oh, hi, Shane. You want to come down here? You can. Later. Okay. Samuel Marvel, I love his name, Chief of Planning and Development, Mary Kiltley, Chief of Recreation, Chris Kinzel, Acting Maintenance Superintendent, Roxanne Pasalo, Administrative Officer, Lisa Alameda, Permits Officer. Oh, you have your team here, huh? Yeah. Department of Water Supply, John Stuffelbein and James Kimo Landgraf, I think I saw him here. Department of Corporation Counsel, Christina Toshikio, Department and Christy Wigglesworth from Department of Corporation Counsel. Thank you very much, staff. I always say without you, we would not be sitting here. Pauline Martin, Senior Committee Secretary, thank you very much, as well as Yvette Botelier. I've been getting a lot of emails from her too. Christine Zabo, Legislative Analyst, and James Cougar, Senior Legislative Analyst. Thank you. I think, Kirsten, you left at 10:30 last night or so. Everybody left at 10:30. Jared Pasquale and Clarissa McDonald, Legislative Analyst. Peter Hanano, Legislative Attorney. Rochelle Kawasaki, Deputy Director of Corporation Counsel, and Leigh Deneen, Council Services Assistant Clerk. Thank you, everybody. And I think during the budget, what really happens is everybody focuses on the budget. So everybody that I didn't name that is plowing away in hours, I really appreciate you. Look at the last page of this agenda for information on meeting connectivity. And we only have one item on the agenda today, which is proposed fiscal year 26 budget for the County of Maui. And members, I will be taking testimony after the opening comments today. So today last night we held our second residency area meeting with Member Senensi. And I want to really thank Member Senensi. You do quite a production to greet us and to feed us when we get to Hana. And your team is awesome. Don Lono sat the whole time taking notes for you. So I'm sure, you're going to follow up in many of the requests that your community had. And so you can talk about your gift to Chair Lee and please give us a summary of last night.
Mahalo, Chair. If we've learned anything from Lahaina, is that we stick together and we help out one another. This was no different from what we heard at the Hana District Budget meeting last night. We are a close-knit community with shared values. So when local government can jump in and support these shared values, then a community can heal and thrive. We heard how MEO is a vital part of the community when helping parents and caregivers transport our keiki and our kupuna, and also the need for more student travel funding. We heard how school partnerships with nonprofits like Makahana Kaike and Hana Arts can supplement and provide real life and culturally based curriculum for our keiki. As a rural community, we don't often get the benefits afforded to the larger populated areas, so resiliency and sustainability is important to us. Support for a food aggregation center will help our farmers process their ag products for export, and the continued work by MIS will help to protect these investments for food sovereignty. Chair, hopefully our locally forced meal provided an insight into our personal communion and love for the Aina and the need to protect our gathering practices. Mahalo to council members and staff who drove the Hana Highway last night, something that the community was also very passionate about, particularly the continuance of paving out toward Kipahulu and Kaupo, including traffic safety measures, as Sarah and Councilmember Rollins Fernandez witnessed last night, and of course, regular water pipeline maintenance. Members, it was nice to see our young adults show up last night, including Akaneki, who is returning home from the mainland, Keaka, Meleana, and Keahi. They presented their petitions to the council for better park and playground equipment and for more investments into recreation, athletics, rural health, and overall wellness. Finally, Chair, I wanted to thank Kate and Member Johnson for coming out early to meet with East Maui constituents on the food truck bill. Oftentimes, the Planning Commission timelines don't allow important legislation to be referred to the Hana Advisory Committee for our input. So, mahalo nui for that, and that concludes my report, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to say what you didn't say. All that wonderful food, and it was quite a spread. I think Uncle Don remembered that Shirley had mentioned that she likes opihi and ama crab. And so they sent out your volunteers to go and harvest and hunt to satisfy her need, right? So here we show up last night, and Don tells me that. I go, oh my God, Shirley's not here. She has company or something, so she's not able, I don't know what the reason was, but she's not able to be with us. And he says this, listen to this. So Shirley, Uncle Don says, well, you know, when the kupuna asks, you gotta do because they did for us before. And I thought, how beautiful.
Especially when he's kupuna as well. This was my first Hana meeting that I've missed in 17 years. That's how much love I have for that community. Yeah. Thank you.
And usually Shirley and I ride out together, you know, and our big thing is, did we see the cows? But last night I didn't see any cows. You saw what? Silver cow. Oh, that sounds like it's blessed.
You know why, huh? You almost hit them the last time. So they see you coming, they take off.
Anyway, we have fun. Thank you very much, Member Senensi, and thank you for the gifts that you really did send to Shirley. I brought it to my office last night because I thought I do not want to forget this, and if I leave it at home, I'm going to eat it. So thank you very much for being very thoughtful. And all right, so thank you, Member Senensi. So at this time, I would like, did staff upload it? Wait. Oh, we have a new calendar, and the only difference in the calendar is that we took off the East Maui Water Authority not doing a presentation today, but all the rest remains the same. I want to let you know that the Water Department did respond to your questions as well as the initial questions that were sent out, so they're done. Parks Department, the reason why that I was talking to Director is that they transmitted their responses to you, but it was sent to a unusual folder. So it never really made it to Leslie Milner's desk, I guess, but it is done. So you will have the Parks responses. Very good. And so if that didn't happen, maybe Director McCall, maybe you would have not had to come to see us today. Just kidding. So anyway, that's the change on the calendar. And we're going to be continuing on with deliberations for fiscal year 26 budget. And I'm going to get opening comments from the Parks Department, Water Supply, and then we're going to be followed by public testimony. And as you know, what we need to finish this morning before we go into your questions to the departments, we need to finish off our range of rates for real property tax because filing with clerk's office is due at noon today. And it still has to be perfectly typed and everything you want has to be perfect with that resol. So in consideration for the OCS staff, we need to be done with that. So directors, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to do that and then go into the questions to you. So at this time, I'd like to invite the Director of Parks and Recreations, Pat McCall, to provide opening comments from your department. And members, the initial letter is on Granicus 24, labeled PR1, and department questions letter is, oh wait, is this water or parks? I thought we don't have parks. We don't have parks yet. Oh, two. So, okay, we have 24 and 65. And then, oh, that's with water. Sorry, that's water. All right, so at this time then, Director McCall, would you like to provide your opening comments?
Good morning and thank you, Chair.
Chair, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry to jump in here real quick, but I just want to inform the committee that I have to leave at 10:30 to catch a ride. Just letting you know.
Okay,
Thanks.
10:30. Thank you for letting us know.
All right. Good morning, council members. As requested, my opening comments will be brief. The Department of Parks and Recreation FY26 budget remains flat while we continue to work to maintain our facilities, implement preventative maintenance, issue permits and promote safety within our parks, and plan future development and build new facilities. Our budget this year is approximately $42.3 million with a CIP budget in addition 23.4. The major changes in our FY26 budget, administratively, we're asking for a $250,000 to fund a cost study analysis to evaluate our rates and fees program. I'd like to develop a systematic approach for determining these rates and fees with a built-in system to look at it on an annual basis and make adjustments as necessary as we go forward into the future. We do have 4 expansion positions that we are asking for. These are 4 park caretaker 1s, and this is to accommodate an anticipated need to decrease or maintain at the current level our services that are currently provided by qualified rehab programs. We are also putting in a budget line for court resurfacing as we want to make this an annual part of our preventative maintenance program, and this will just be an ongoing thing, rotational over the years to maintain our courts. And finally, we have several new CIP projects that we would, CIP that we would like to begin funding in the early phases. First is a new community center for Lahaina. Second would be a field house, in other words, a covered outdoor court for Lahaina, in Lahaina. A emergency generator at South Maui Gymnasium. A Kalama Park light replacement project. Sakamoto Pool repairs project, Kahalui Community Center, the roof replacement, the existing Kahalui Community Center, Lahaina Aquatic Center rehab project, and the Kula Gym project, looking at a new facility in Kula. That's a quick and dirty summary of our budget changes this year. My team will be here, as Budget Chair mentioned, and available for questions later. Thank you.
Very good, Director. Next, we have Director Stufflebean. Welcome.
Morning, Chair, morning, everyone. So the Department of Water Supply, as you know, is somewhat different than other departments in that we are an enterprise fund, and so all of our revenue comes from the water fees that people pay. Our water fund is healthy. Our mission is to find more water for affordable housing. That's kind of at the top of our list. In terms of operations, our budget, it's a continuation budget essentially, although it does increase from $83.2 million to $91.5 million. The biggest increase is in additional personnel costs. And the second issue is equipment replacement that has been kind of delayed for many years, and we're trying to get caught up and get our equipment replaced. And then we have professional services as well. Professional services is, I think, the most important thing that we have in our budget, really, in a lot of ways. It's help us with source development. There's elements in there for being smarter and more efficient in terms of a strategic master plan and efficiency efforts. It also includes efforts to comply with EPA lead and copper rules, which we have to do. And then there's several in there about additional financing issues, helping us with billing support. We've been having some problems with that. We're trying to get some help with that. And to look at our water system development fee to make sure it's accurate. It also focuses on water conservation, even more than in the past. And it includes 2 positions that are for enforcement that we feel we do need to start doing more enforcement on our water conservation and some of our meter issues. And we don't really have any current positions that are really enforcement related. So we're adding some positions on enforcement, as well as 4 additional operating positions. The CIP includes over 40 projects. The budget increases from $23.8 million to $45.1 million. The CIP is funded from the rate increase, if approved, from the Water Development Fund, from carryover savings, from the GET, the first time we're getting money from outside the department, which is exciting for us. And then, of course, state and federal funding. The CIP is very focused on water source development. And at the top of the list is wells. Talking to my counterpart over in Honolulu, he now says it takes 10 years to get a new well in Hawaii. So it's a long process, but we're working on it. We also have some issues relating to our water treatment plants. They're all filtration plants, so it's projects to improve the filtration capacity of the plants, and to deal with the fact that when the water is really turbid, we can't treat it. So there's some additional treatment we can do to help us treat it, to deal with the turbidity and treat the water even during high flows. We're also a major storage project in Kamoli, and then we have, of course, the usual tanks and transmission lines that need to be renovated. We have issues in there for dam safety. And for the first time ever, we are coordinating with the Department of Environmental Management on recycled water funding as well. In terms of grants, we award grants for watershed protection, as we always have. It's approximately 4% of our budget. Again, really important thing that we're doing long term. And we received grants, we think, it's all, as you know, it's very fluid right now in terms of that. But we expect to get money from grants from FEMA, especially for generators, a lot of new generators. We think we have a good chance of that. And then EPA funding as well as USDA funding, Department of Agriculture funding for project over in Molokai, which qualifies for the funding. And finally, rates and fees. We're proposing essentially a 10% increase overall in terms of the revenue generated. However, it's strategically designed to allow those who need water to get it for the low price. The residential for the 4 tiers, the first tier, which is the first amount of water that you would use, a resident would use, is no increase at all. Second tier, 7.5%, third tier, 15%, fourth tier, 25%. So we're saying, if you use excess water, you're going to pay more for it. And this, even with these increases, we're still less than Honolulu and less than Kauai, what their proposed are. And then finally, we're proposing an increase in the ag rate of 5% and an increase in the hotel rate of 25%. So that's a summary of our budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Concise, that's very appreciated. So at this time, opening for public testimony. Do we have anybody? We do, okay. So at this time, opening testimony, we welcome people or the public to testify. And we are testifying on the budget, so you'll be limited to 3 minutes for any item on the budget. Written testimony is encouraged and can be submitted via e-comment link at mauicounty.us/agendas. Under the Sunshine Law, the chair will receive oral testimony for agenda items at the beginning of the meeting and as the item is called up. For individuals wishing to testify via Teams, raise your hand by clicking on the raise your hand button, or if you're calling in, please follow the prompts via the phone, *5 to raise and lower your hand, and *6 to mute and unmute. Staff will add names to the testifiers list in the order testifiers sign up to raise their hands. For those in Teams, staff will lower your hand. Once your name is added, staff will then call the name you logged in, and under the last four digits of your phone number, if that's what you have signed up with. At this time, staff will enable your microphone and video. If you wish to testify anonymously, please notify us. Otherwise, please state your name for the record at the beginning of your testimony. Oral testimony is limited to 3 minutes per item, and if you're still testifying, I'll give you another 30 seconds. Once you're done testifying, or if you do not wish to testify, you can also view the meeting on Akaku Channel 53, Facebook Live, or mauicounty.us/agendas. We will do our best to take each person up in an orderly fashion. Testifiers, please.
Chair.
Yes.
Hi. Maybe I missed it, but did you acknowledge Member Hodges? I know you were waiting for her to set up.
She came in.
Yeah. So,
Sorry. Member Hodges,
So
welcome.
stealthy. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, testifiers?
Thank you, Chair. The first testifier signed up is Steve Scraggs in the chamber, to be followed by Meliana Crosella on Teams.
Aloha Committee Chair Sugimura and committee members. My name is Steve Scraggs. I'm the CEO of Maui Family YMCA. With me is our Chief Operations Officer, Misty Amarin. I'm submitting testimony today in favor of the $250,000 proposed funding to Maui Family YMCA. The Y is grateful to be included in the county budget. The funding will allow the Y to provide scholarships to Maui County families for childcare, water safety programs, chronic disease prevention and support, membership programs, and health and wellness programs. In the budget year 2025, Maui Family YMCA gave over $500,000 in financial scholarship across Maui County. This included over $200,000 to provide 100% free childcare for fire victims in Lahaina. At our Kahului branch, we provided over 450 Maui County residents financial assistance for Y programming. This helped families pay for childcare, swimming programs, music, theater enrichment programs, Parkinson's fitness and support, and much, much more. The Maui Family YMCA is an integral part of the Maui community and the services we provide, and the sense of belonging in Ohana that is part of the Y experience. We truly see YMCA offerings as workforce development. Our childcare programs make it possible for parents to return to work, and our wellness and membership programs help create a life balance that keeps employees happier and healthier. In a matter of weeks, we will be opening our West Maui YMCA Community Resource Center in Lahaina. The Resource Center will house over a dozen partner organizations and provide programs for mental health, cultural awareness, childcare, workforce development, fine art, fitness, therapy, and many other services. We are proud that our primary resident will be Kainoa Senior Services, which will have offices and programming space for Kapuna Puna programs at the new Resource Center. Maui Family YMCA, through funds raised both privately and publicly, is able to operate the programs at West Maui YMCA Resource Center at no cost to partner organizations or Maui County residents. We believe our Y is a great investment for the county. Funds provided to the Y will ensure residents continue to have access to quality programs that they could not otherwise afford. This is truly a frontline program where residents can see and feel their tax funds benefiting the community in a very tangible way. We thank you for your continued support of the Y and the commitment these funds make to health and well-being of our most vulnerable populations. Mahalo.
Thank you very much for coming to testify. And for me, I'm glad to meet you because we did hear from Mike Morris, who you took his place.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Anyway, members, they did submit written testimony. All of you had received a copy of it this morning. Questions from Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Scraggs, for your testimony. I just was wanting to inquire, in light of you soon to open in the West Maui area, did you participate in the action plan survey for the DR funds?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, and that's,
Thank you,
I want to add
Councilmember.
that for West Maui, it's good that you have Kaunoa because, as you know, our center burned also. All right, anybody else have any questions? Oh, Member Kama.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for coming here and sharing your testimony in front of us. So my question is, the 250,000 is for both sites that you want to try to spread this through, or is it just for one site?
It'll be for both. First of all, thank you for your question, Council Member. It'll be for both locations. We will take the $250,000 and it'll go into a scholarship pool. And in that scholarship pool, it'll be used for, we predominantly see a lot of childcare scholarship applications. And we've been fortunate through our other types of fundraising. We've been able to raise funds to provide free childcare in Lahaina, and we're committed to free childcare in Lahaina through the fundraising that we're utilizing. But there is a possibility that some of this $250,000 can be used for programs and services on that side.
Okay.
It'll be used across all of our programs.
I think that's really great, but I don't know if that's enough, but that's just my thoughts. Thank you, Chair. Thank you,
I would love more money.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Is it
Scraggs?
Scraggs. So I remember in the past that when visiting the Y for meetings, that there would be some people outside on your patio charging their phones, and they were homeless. So are you still helping them, and is that still available?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, would it be okay if I allowed Misty to come up?
Is she testifying? She can testify
I'm
also.
sorry.
Is she signed up to testify?
No.
Okay, maybe she can sign up to testify, and then she can.
Yeah, well, so there's actually several homeless persons who have used those services who now are actually working for us in different capacities. And so, and Missy, of course, our COO, she really initiates a lot of that work, but creating opportunities so that people can get some not only the use of our facility, but some money in their pocket and help maybe facilitate their situation to be better. But yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, thank you very much. Is she the next testifier signed up? You have another person? Yeah? Okay. We're going to call whoever, and then can you register out front in the lobby? And we can get you on to testify. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
think there's no other questions. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next testifier is Meliana Kurokawa, to be followed by JD Wyatt on Teams.
Aloha, my name is Meliana Kurokawa. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
K. I am here today as a concerned high school student and resident of Hana, Maui, in regards to the urgent need of a playground for our community. Hana, Kipuhulu, and Keanai all currently lack a public playground for keiki who are not old enough to attend school. Additionally, the only playgrounds in East Maui that are provided on campus are outdated and pose numerous safety risks. Playgrounds are essential for the well-being and development of children. They provide a safe environment for physical activity, which is crucial for combating childhood obesity and developing skills such as coordination, balance, muscle strengthening, and hand-eye skills. Studies show that children living near parks with playgrounds have better mental health than children living near parks without playgrounds. Furthermore, playgrounds help children develop social skills, build friendships, and learn to share with others. There are also cognitive benefits of play that teach keiki problem-solving skills, thinking critically, and even help with exploring cause and effect. A new playground would also serve as a place for ohanas to come together while bringing a sense of community pride. It would provide a safe and enjoyable place for children to play and offer parents a space to socialize. Gathering parents, caregivers allows them the opportunity to support each other. This sense of community is particularly important in small towns like Hana, where social connection greatly enhances our quality of life and allows us to thrive together. If the Departments of Park and Recreation were able to develop Pa'animai Park, Kipuhulu Point Park, and Keanai Park, it would greatly enhance the well-being and healthy development for the children of our community. Not only our children, but the community as a whole would benefit from a place to gather outdoors together. A playground falls clearly under your mission statement to provide safe, satisfying, and cost-effective recreational opportunities for the residents of and visitors to Maui County. I'm confident that with support, we can create a space that will benefit current and future generations to come. Mahalo for your attention to this important matter. I'm looking forward to your response and sharing blueprint or ideas for the possible facilities. In the meantime, to take action, I started a petition for community support. In a few weeks, I managed to receive 410 signatures. This shows me that our community thinks we need this playground as much as I do. I also sent letters to some of our community leaders and got a response from Shane Dudoi, Don Lono, and also Uncle Shane. These responses helped me realize some minor obstacles. I understand the process is lengthy and has to be done through CIP division with regards to special managed schools. Almost there, thank you. I implore the people and leaders here today to hear the need of our community and begin the planning, budgeting, and permitting to move forward with making a playground that our community can be proud of. Mahalo nui loa.
Thank you. So last night, she testified and we told her about this meeting and here she is. So very well done. Members, do you have any questions for her? Seeing none. Thank you. Okay, next testifier.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The next testifier is JD Wyatt on Teams, to be followed by Justin. I apologize, JD. Your mic is unmuted.
Chair, Mr. Wyatt's unmuted on our end. He'll have to unmute on his end to begin his testimony.
Mr. Wyatt, can you unmute on your side? Oh, we can't hear you.
Chair, perhaps we could...
JD, if you're able...
Chair, perhaps we could provide Mr. Wyatt the call-in information and... Oh, it appears he's unmuted.
I'm very sorry, everyone, that I was having trouble with this. And I remarked at the start what a tough act to follow. She was fantastic. So if that's indicative of the students in our high schools here, we're very fortunate in the future. But thank you very much, Chair and council members. My name is JD Wyatt. I'm the executive director of Kalima Maui. And I'm here today to testify on behalf of our contracts with Parks and Recreation. Director McCall and his staff are fantastic to work with. And I think we, as anyone, know just how challenging some of the work can be out there, maintaining the parks. So really appreciate the opportunity and your time to listen to my testimony. Kalima Maui has been providing grounds and custodial services to Maui County for roughly 47 years now. We provide a vital community service in that we maintain some of the more popular parks used by the community and by the visitors on island. And our work ensures that these properties are safe, sanitary, and welcoming. We have over 12 ground crews and custodial crews every day out working in the parks. Typically, our crews have 4 staff members with them, 1 supervisor, and 3 adults with disabilities. So we run about a 75% ratio. We're currently employing almost 50 adults with disabilities for county parks and grounds work. And I can tell you that, not only is the jobs for those that we employ meaningful to themselves and their sense of self-worth and self-esteem, but they're also integral to their families and to the family budgets and the economics of the families and the households they live in. And so we've had some challenges in recent years with cost increases and service increases, which have elevated our contracts with the county. But really, we have been doing the same kind of work and essentially at the same sites for the past 3 decades. So the only thing that's changed is we've gotten a lot better through the years because over 50% of the adults that we employ have over 15 years experience with Kalima Maui. So imagine that's what we're bringing to the table in the sites that we do the work on. So, I just want to advocate for our staff first and foremost. Share my appreciation for what you do and what Parks and Recreations does for the community. And, our mission of enhancing lives through self-reliance is not something here that we just say and put on a business card and on our letterhead. It's the focus of my staff, every individual of my staff every day for those that we serve. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to give these opportunities to those that we serve, and I appreciate all that you do. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wyatt. And any questions from the members? Member Paulton. And okay.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. I really appreciate the work that they do, especially in the parks bathrooms. I wanted to clarify, was there a specific amount we could help you with?
Well, we've actually been, I think, most of you are aware of some of the challenges that we're having with running into caps with our programs. And we've actually, this year's contract proposal that we submitted for fiscal year 26 is less than last year's by about $58,000. And, we do pay minimum wage. There used to be the 14C certificates that would allow sub-minimum. We never use them. We'd really like to be able to pay our staff, a little better than that because we feel they deserve it. But I understand how challenging this budget year in particular is going to be. So what we'd really like is just support for the ability to provide contracts that have small increases each year to accommodate rising costs and cost of living and inflationary issues. So.
And the caps that you spoke of, if it's 58,000 less than last year, if that were restored, it wouldn't go above the cap that you spoke of?
Well, we in the Kihei district in particular, I ran into a situation where I hit the cap that's on record right now for 850,000, and my bid actually would have been about 30,000 more than that at about 880,000. But making sure that I didn't violate that issue that's being litigated now, I had to hold back that bid. So what that means to us is we're providing less services, right, and less hours for those that we employ. So that's kind of where I'm out of balance in particular this year, and I appreciate that question because that we're in the other districts in Central and Wailuku, we're well below the cap, and Kihei, we do almost the entire from Cam 1, and Cam 2, and Cam 3, all the way down the strip there. We're handling all of those facilities, and Kalama is a huge park as well. So,
Thank you. So we just kind of gotta let the litigation play out before we can move forward with that.
yeah, I think that that's we've been concerned because I knew I was getting close to this cap, particularly in that district, and I think that that's the right decision for us to make, and the responsible thing is a partner with Maui County to do. So I told my board I'll just find a way to I'm going to go fundraise another $30,000 somewhere else in a fundraiser or do something else, and that's how I'll kind of cover that puka in the budget for us.
And is there not the ability to shift that workforce to the other districts with the smaller cap? I mean, that are below the caps?
I suppose theoretically, I could kind of move that around, but we've been in the last couple of years in particular, I've been really trying to build up our private contracts with the private sector, and I think to help Kalima in the future and for our growth, it's wise for us to diversify, a little bit on that respect. So I think that's where my focus is going to be. I don't think it would be fair to try and gain that lost income in other districts if we're not specifically doing the work in those districts.
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt, for your testimony and your work.
Thank you very much. Member Kama has a question for you, Mr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. Are you in the Wailuku district or Kahului district?
We're in both. So we have a Wailuku, we call Kahului is called Central. So that's the Central contract, and then we have a Wailuku contract, and we have a Kihei contract.
Do you have a contact number?
Yes, 808-244-5502, extension 202.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for being so transparent. Now we all have your contact information. So, Mr. Wyatt, how about the police department? Are you still cleaning the police department? I think that came up.
Yeah, so we do, thank you for the question, Chair. We do both grounds and custodial at the police department here. And as you know, that's where our facility is. And if anyone drives into the Cameron Center and you see immediately the grounds work, how good our staff is. And I'm so proud of that because I drive in every day and drive out. But yeah, we also hold a contract with the police department that's roughly around $230,000 currently.
Okay. Any other questions? I see none. All right, next testifier. Thank you very much. Keep up your good work.
Mahalo, appreciate it.
Chair, the next testifier is Julia Nakoa.
Oh, sorry, I got turned off my TV. Okay, you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes, sir. Okay, get like 14 that I talk about. Of course, I'm going to talk about parks and recreation, especially here in Lahaina. Been saying this for how many years? Okay, our park sucks. Our parks need help. Yeah, Napili Park. The batting cage was on the budget for like 3-4 years, I think. And finally, the bugger just got done. When the thing was being built, I was still living on the beach. And the bugger just went pow. You guys seen all these kind of projects there, bro. But when the thing was being built, I was telling the deputy director, let us do them. We're going to do them more faster and more better. Because they're batting cage and you still need plenty of help. The thing is just, again, I coach over there every year for the last how many years. These kids is deprived of the benefit to have these kind of facilities in Napili. My brother's program, my program, we've been in the All-Stars for the past 6 years representing Maui. And we practice at Napili Park every time. And we gotta do it. We gotta do with this kind. I'm gonna say scary kind stuff over there in Napili. We gotta suffer. I keep saying this. The one old Filipino man over there, he badass. He make that park as much as he can, as nice as possible. Yeah, but I hear that I hear that you're gonna do a community center in Lahaina. Oh yeah, how long that gonna take? If the batting cage would take 3+ years to be built. Community center needs to be done yesterday. Because every time here we like have baby showers, graduation parties, all the kind of stuff. We cannot do them during the time get the basketball tournament. Then come over here, you guys shut us down. We don't want no place for go. Yeah, so this bugger is way late. How long would it take? I hope you guys, council people, is ready for ask this guy the question. But don't get me wrong, I call these buggers every damn time. Yeah, the Lahaina Park, the just open. Yeah, one of the main things, not only the baseball parks are that, but the beach parks, Canoe Beach, Wahikuli, DT Fleming's, the places, Estern, just got cleared up. Us locals, we go to the beaches to clear our mind. I'm gonna finish up. To clear our minds and all that kind of stuff. So we get 3, 4, 5 local families at these beaches, and then we only get one rubbish can. Every day we get nighttime. You get nighttime games at the Lahaina Park now, the Little League. Good job, the president of Little League. We had nighttime games. We played up country. Some shame we get only one rubbish can. We'd host them. We'd feed the up country guys when they came over here. All over the place. Rubbish all over the place. Make us look stupid. But lucky we know the guy that's taking care of the park. So we asked Abraham, can I have a couple more rubbish bags? Can I have a couple more rubbish bags so we can put the rubbish inside and we'll clean them up? So it's the kind of work that we, the taxpayers, gotta do. We volunteers, bro. 30 years I volunteer for this thing. So Fox, get off you guys local and do something for us with my people. And you guys want so okay, that is just for the Fox, not the next item.
Member,
Water.
Mr. Nakoa, we have only one item on the agenda, so you have 3 minutes to talk about everything. Does he have more time?
What the fuck?
So the buzzer.
Let's talk about you get two departments over there.
No, but
that is, you guys don't question. Right now you have water and parks.
Yes.
And then now and yesterday you had police and you had the police, you had court counsel. How do you expect us to talk 3 minutes for all these different people that's here?
Yeah, we announced.
You guys take it away all way.
We announced at the beginning, and we are going to be consistent with all the testifier that you have 3 minutes to talk about anything on the agenda. And you have reached your 3 minutes. If you want 30 seconds to talk about water, we'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead.
All these things is on the agenda. All the topics are talking about. All these guys asking for money is on the agenda. All these departments asking for money is on the agenda.
It's the budget.
Come on.
Okay, Mr. Nakoa, would you like just 30 seconds to finish up, or are you done?
Okay, water. Make sure the thing is only go to the affordable, no luxury homes, 0 luxury homes. All for the workforce housing, because again, you guys know Lahaina, we no more houses for the people of Lahaina. We get screwed by the state, so county, do your job, because I ain't going to be fully active on fighting for housing for locals. And don't forget our parks, I'm gonna tell you, parks are gonna be making choke noise. Oh my God! Oh, I guess I come on every freaking day then.
Mr. Nakoa, you're welcome to come every day that we have budget. And you have 3 minutes to talk about anything in the budget. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody have questions for Mr. Nakoa?
It fucking sucks.
Don't swear. We're going to take you out of the meeting. Don't swear. We do not use that kind of language here. Okay, no questions. Next testifier.
Thank you, Chair. That's currently all the individuals signed up to testify. If anyone in the audience or on Teams would like to testify, please come up to the mic and begin your testimony or use the raise your hand function on Teams, and staff will unmute you. Here's the countdown. Oh, I do see someone at the podium.
Aloha kakahiaka, aloha kako, kako, aloha akaku, and aloha po'akahi. Ka'aha o ke kalana o Maui. Mahalo, Luna ho'omolu, Kashiwa Sugimura, and for the previous testifier, he done enough grumbling, and I'm going to try to talk positively. JC Law from Kula'uka Waiako Ahupua'a, and aloha ke ena paka ahana ho'onanea a call. At the Hannibal Tavares Community Center the other night, thank you all council members for coming up there. In the dumpster, they don't have a cardboard dumpster over there, so I got some cardboard boxes out of there, and I'm just using these for my example. So at the, I don't go down to the Pukalani very much, but I stay around the Kula Community Center, and they had one huge luau the other night, last weekend. It was the biggest one I ever seen. It must have been 1,000 people there, and I tried to divert some of the cardboard from the dumpster, but the trash man came early in the morning, Monday morning, and that was it. So to give you guys a picture of what's going on here, if I took all the cardboard out of the dumpster from the Kula Community Center for 1 year, I would probably be able to fill 4 tennis courts 10 feet high. So I'm sure Mr. Ogawa would appreciate if we could get a cardboard dumpster up there. Thank you.
Any questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you. Next testifier.
Chair, no further individuals have signed up to testify. If anyone would like to testify, please come up to the podium or raise your hand on Teams. The countdown is 3, 2, 1. Seeing none, Chair, no one has indicated that they wish to testify.
Thank you. So at this time, with your permission, members, I'm going to close public testimony for this portion of our meeting and receive written testimony. Thank you. As I mentioned, so departments, if you would like, you can sit here as we talk about real property tax, or you can go back in the and be with everybody else in the gallery. But so this time, I would like to ask staff to distribute what you got. I think the real property tax rates and tiers, which we discussed yesterday, and this was passed out, right? Okay. As a reminder, this resolution is due to the county clerk's office by noon today. To allow staff sufficient time to finalize the process for documents, we need to conclude our discussion by 11:30 today on this matter. So as we concluded yesterday's meeting, there appeared to be consensus on the proposed real property tax rates and tiers, except for TVR and hotel classifications. I've invited Director Martin to join us today to assist us with any questions that may arise. With that, are there any questions for the members? Seeing none. Okay, Ms. Martin, are you on already? Is she here? Ms. Martin, well, there you are. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Ms. Martin, yesterday, you were there for this discussion, and we passed out, did we send to her a copy of, we're going to send to you a copy of what the members now have before them, but it basically is a summary or what we discussed yesterday. And the only two that I thought we would bring up, hotel and resort, as well as the TVR, and just to get your input on it. So it looked like, members, that we did have some consensus or discussions regarding owner-occupied, non-owner occupied, apartment, which was not touched, timeshare, long-term rental, agriculture, conservation, commercial, industrial, and commercialized residential. And so I wanted, any questions for Ms. Martin regarding that? Do I see, did you have your hand up, Ms. Paulton? Okay, Ms. Paulton, then Member Rollins Fernandez.
Just any feedback you had about tiering the hotel rate at 800 million?
Ms. Martin?
Thank you, Chair. So the hotel class has a wide variety of properties, and you can look at last year's certification book on page 65 to get an idea. Last year it was 13.6 million to 755 million. But within those properties, many of those are subdivided into multiple units. And so that would be, for example, the Ritz-Carlton is 90 units and Kealani is 44 units. So right now, the way that the code reads, if you did tier the hotel class, those properties that are condominiumized would be treated like a lower value property. So you could have two properties next to each other paying different tax rates. So that's a concern.
So maybe don't tier it at all, is what you're saying? To promote equity amongst.
Ms. Martin?
Thank you. Well, I think it just needs to be looked at to make sure it's reflecting the policy that you want. One way you could do that was to just put extremely large tier ranges in your posting so that it could be discussed after certification. We don't really know what values we're at until we get past the April 17th deadline. But at this time, like I said, I think tiering that hotel class could create some inequity to adjacent properties.
Okay, and then I guess the other question is for our legislative attorneys. If we put in a tier, do we have to use it since it's the range of rates? Could we put it in and not use it at all?
Mr. Hanano.
For the flexibility at a later time?
Yes, that's correct, Councilmember Holton.
Okay, I guess I would recommend 800 million or nothing.
Okay, so just have one tier, is that what you're saying? Okay, Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. So it would be two. It would be everything less than 800 million and then everything more than 800 million for both, for hotel and timeshare.
Okay, is that what you're recommending, Ms. Paulton?
That's how I
Member
wrote it.
Paulton.
Yeah, if we tier it at 800 million, it would be two tiers. If we do nothing, it'll be one tier.
One tier. Or nothing, yeah. Okay, any comments? Did you get that? Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, Director Martin, you have your hand up.
You may want to check, so if you wanted to create two tiers, could you put the range for each tier
different
0 to 800 million, and that way you have flexibility? I think it's okay if they overlap because you're just creating ranges for each tier. So it'd be tier 1 and then tier 2.
Okay, so Member Rollins Fernandez, Member Paulton, are you in consensus? Okay. You are, okay.
For timeshare as well.
Okay, and then for timeshare, Ms. Martin, do you want to say?
Yeah, same
Same thing?
as hotel resort
Okay, so like 800 million for both,
and the 0.
okay? Members, Shirley,
For Ms. Martin, would we have to put anything here, or would the the rate schedule now allow for any kind of credits?
Ms. Martin, did you hear the question?
No, can you repeat that?
With the rate schedule that we have in front of us, could this allow for any credits because of the big ranges and so forth?
A credit would probably have to be an ordinance amendment.
Okay, so Chair, this has a time-sensitive deadline
Today.
of today at 12. So if we wanted to propose some kind of credit, would that have to be posted as well today, or that could be a separate ordinance?
I say separate. So,
Corp Counsel?
Mr.
I mean,
Hanano or
our
Deputy
attorneys,
Director?
can you answer that question?
We won't have it ready today.
If you could give us a moment, we can confirm.
You need a recess. Okay, let's take a 2-minute recess. Is that okay?
I think more.
Oh. You want to take a recess, 11:50? Yeah, 11:50. We'll come back at 11:50. Okay, it's 11:21. Thank you very much for letting us take that break just so we can get everything a little bit in sync. Regarding the discussion for hotel and short-term vacation rental, I want to say that because this discussion is going on a little bit longer, we have asked the departments, or we're going to call them to come back after lunch, either 1 o'clock or 1:30, depending on what you all want to do. And we had a question which caused the recess. And the question came from Chair Lee that she wants to know how we can give a, did you use the word rebate? Credit. So.
But we found the answer. Yeah.
Yes, but we.
Oh, you want to hear from them?
To
Okay.
the public, just because you asked that question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair Lee, for the question. So the reason why we're creating this resolution or, attempting to draft is under Maui County Code 3.48.565. It requires the council to publish a range of rates for the real property taxes for this fiscal FY 26 budget. There nowhere in the code allows for a credit at this point, and so the purpose of this resolution is basically, like I said, to publish the range of rates and the tiers for the real property taxes. It does not require a notification or publication of a credit, and just for courts, the council's information, committee's information, there is no current ordinance which allows for a credit, so the council would have to enact that type of legislation to allow that.
Thank you. And just for your information, we are planning to initiate an ordinance having to do with not necessarily a rebate. We're not sure what we're going to call it, whether it's a credit, whether it's a refund, whatever it's called. But we now realize it's a separate issue and it's not subject to the 12 o'clock noon deadline because it can happen at any time. Thank you.
Mr. Hanada, you want to answer?
No, that's correct. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so creating a new ordinance then would be effective for the next year. So we have some time to work on that. So we don't have to power out to get it in, or we can't get it into this resolution. So that's pretty clear.
Chair.
Yes.
What we're thinking of right now is not something that it would be considered some sort of exemption or having to do with the real property constraints.
Okay.
We might tie it to carryover savings. Thank you.
Interesting.
Which could have a sooner result. Thank you.
That means we need to budget leaner and meaner. That's what it means. Before we continue, I want to welcome Member Johnson.
Thank you. I know testifiers of the Lanai District Office, and thanks for having me.
So good at this time. We're still laughing and enjoying ourselves, so thank you. Welcome. So I'd like to ask Member Rollins Fernandez if you can clarify the tiers for hotel and TVR. Is it for TVR too?
Timeshare. So for hotel and resort and timeshare, it would be 0 to 800 million for tier 1, and then 100 to 800 million for tier 2 or above or more than. I don't know. The way it's written, I agree with our legislative attorneys, needs to be kind of fixed up a little bit. But basically, it can't be below 100 million, but it can go above 800 million.
Okay, so are you saying for both of them? Same, similar hotel and TVR?
For how this would be written, it would be 0 to 800 and then 100 to 800.
But isn't the 100 in the 800? I mean, because 0 to 800.
Chair?
Oh, you can choose one or the other. Okay.
Well, it's just a range, yeah. So we would choose something within that range. So it would end up being what we discussed before the recess, which is less than 800 million and more than 800 million. But because this is a range and has to be posted on this reso, that's why it's being written in a somewhat not very clear and confusing way.
Get rid of one. Mr. Kruger?
No, they would both be there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Kruger.
So Chair, to effectuate that intent, I think the way the staff would probably write it would be up to 100 million to more than 800 million for both tiers. And then that way the council would be able to set some sort of tiers relating to, up to 100 million or more than 100 million, something like that. But that way that should capture the what's being discussed right now. It's that language.
Member Paulton, member?
I don't think so. I think 800, 0 to 800 million. And then 100 million to 800 million.
To give us the flexibility for tier 2 when we get to the discussion as chair intended.
That's what you meant. Oh,
right.
sorry.
So when we word it to up to 100 million to more than 800 million, what we interpret that to mean is that the council could set something as low as 0 to 100 million or to as high as 0 to 800 million. And then for the high end, they would be able to set something, 800 million plus, or some other tier to fit with what we set for the first tier.
Well, to put 100 to give us that flexibility to go as low as 100 for tier 2. That's not the intention, but just for that flexibility to have that. Okay, great. We're saying the same thing? Yeah? Okay.
Mr. Kruger, is that fine? Okay.
Oh, we got 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Are you fine? Okay. Does somebody have Member Kama?
I have a question. So 100 million, are we saying up to, or are we just starting with 100 million? Like, we're just starting with it?
Correct. So it wouldn't be lower than 100 million.
It would be lower?
No, it would not.
Yes, that's
So
the
tier
beginning.
2 could not start low, could not
Lower
be set
than
lower than 100 million.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
That's what I understood.
Yes, and that's correct.
Okay. Member Cook.
Thank you, Chair. Is Director Martin still on?
Yes. Director Martin, I think that's your initials. Oh, there she is.
Okay. My question is, by making tiers in this, is there any potential negative consequences that you see?
Only to the peers. Oops.
Ms. Martin. That sounds like an attorney question, but.
Well, I think that the way your ranges should look is that you have a menu option. You can choose no tier, or you can choose tiers by making it very broad. And then once you get the certification and all the data, then you can make the decision. Right now, it's just a posting decision. So I think a broader, more options is better. And the option to have no tiers, I guess you would just set the rate the same in every tier.
Okay, you're fine. Member Rollins Fernandez.
And to reiterate what Director Martin stated yesterday, is we could also choose not to have a tier for both hotel, resort, and timeshare.
Right.
So, but by putting it on the resolution
Gives us
today, it gives us that option later. And if we don't put it on the resol today, then we don't have that option later. Mahalo.
Correct? All right. You're fine, Member Cook? Okay, everybody's fine? So are we fine with this? Can Mr. Kruger please repeat what was decided?
Yes, sure. So staff's understanding is we're going to change the, as it relates to hotel and resort and timeshare classifications. So we're going to change the tier 1 and tier 2. Right now it says up to 600,000 to more than 100 million. We're going to change that to say up to 100 million to more than 800 million. And then that way, if the council afterwards, when it later deliberates on what tiers it wants to set, it could set a tier that's something like 0 to 800 million, and then the second tier more than 800 million.
Okay. Okay. Member Ramos Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Why are we choosing not to just make it 0? 0
You wanted
to 800 million.
So we could do something like 0 to more than 800 million for both, if that's what the body wants.
Okay. Get rid of the 100. Okay. We have the nods. Okay, 0 to 800.
For
million.
tier 1. And then tier 2 would be the 100 to 800.
Okay, so what is tier 2? I hear
All
everybody
right,
talking to each
I will
other.
support what staff, what makes sense to staff.
Okay. Mr. Kruger, what are you recommending for tier 2?
So Chair, the reason that on the resolution right now, we've put both tiers to have the same language is to make it clear that if the council decides to make them the same, basically, they can have the option to do so. So I suppose there's a question as to whether if we start making them different, whether or not we're perhaps restricting the council from doing away with the same tiers. So I think I'd like to kind of ask our committee attorneys to weigh in at this point.
So Mr. Hanano, Deputy Director, any comments?
Thank you, Chair. No comment.
So you agree? You agree? Is that what that means?
Okay, that's good. Mahalo,
That's good?
Chair.
All right.
Mahalo, Mr. Kruger.
So members, this is a miracle. We finished this part. Got kind of involved. Yay. So we are set, right? All of you are fine with the resolution as proposed, as discussed yesterday, or actually the last couple of days. Okay? All right. So at this time then, with the changes that we just heard, I need a motion to accept this resolution so we can send it to clerks. Okay. Okay. So Chair Lee and second by Member Kama. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. Okay. Now, for all of us and the general public, because we already are getting text messages for clarification, that April 17th, we get the certification from real property tax, and that's going to be the guiding document, because it'll be the facts as it relates to all the assessments, all the emails we've been getting, right? It'll be the facts as to what we are in terms of what is certified for real property tax for all these categories, not only the 2 categories that we're talking today. All right, so we can put this aside. It is now 11:33. Would you like to take a lunch break now? And then I already released the departments thinking that this discussion might go a little longer and come back at 1 o'clock. Is that all right? You cannot come back to 1:30.
Same with me, Chair.
Same with you. Can we make it 1:30? Okay. All right, so this meeting is now adjourned at 1:30. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong word. I know we've been doing so good by having early days, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna call a recess till 1:30, and then you're gonna call the departments to come back, right? So we'll have parks first, and then we'll have water. Apologies to them because I know they blocked off time for us. And so at this time then, this meeting is now in recess till 1:30.